The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the #1 Real Estate Podcast Network and the Icons of Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Kat Timpson. On today's show, we've got an amazing guest, Tim Collins from the Emerald Coast of Florida. Tim is originally from Knoxville, Tennessee, and has built a successful real estate business in Florida. He's the founder of Coastal Premier Properties, who has a passion for helping clients find their perfect home or investment. And with a background in finance, sales, and sports coaching, Tim brings leadership and work ethic to everything he does. He's a dedicated advocate for his clients, an inspiring mentor for his fellow agents, and an avid supporter of local causes. Let's dive into his journey. Welcome, Tim. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here with you. And yeah, let's get going.
That's awesome. Well, the first thing I always like to do is ask people about their real estate journey. Like, how did you get into this? What made you start, and what is working for you?
Yeah, fair enough. So I've been vacationing in the Emerald Coast of Florida, specifically the Miramar Beach and Destin area, since the 1980s. So I had a chance to buy a property in 2004. That kind of got me into the real estate bug here, and then had a chance in 2013 to actually move down full time. And I've always had a passion to coach and teach and open my own business. And real estate is just something that really hits home to me. As a math major, I'm a numbers guy, so investment properties and those kind of things are my passion, and helping people find that perfect spot. So I moved down in 2013, got into property management while I got my license, did some short-term rentals, long-term rentals along the way, and then had a chance to get my broker's license and open my own brokerage as well. And there you have Coastal Premier Properties.
I love it. I'm so impressed because I think that a lot of people don't realize what goes into being a broker as well as an agent. And if you'd like to share that for some of the agents who may be listening and ever think about going into this, love them to know what it is you do that's different as a broker.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people in real estate, top performers, that they just don't want any part of running the business side. I actually have a passion for running the business side, from my corporate world, being in steel and in radiation therapy and various fields. Running P&Ls, running businesses is a passion of mine. The coaching, you mentioned my sports coaching. I coached and taught mathematics. I'm a math major, taught mathematics. I'm a all-American scholar athlete in college basketball, baseball. So that kind of led to the coaching passion as well. So helping young agents, helping experienced agents navigate these new waters that we are in. Our industry is definitely changing. And my passion is to see them succeed and help them. And it just makes me feel really good. I've taken restaurant owners. I have lawyers on my team, part-time agents. So that passion to help them build a business, there's no one way to do it. And I think from a true coach standpoint, that's what comes out. You coach people different, and they have different needs. And so the journeys are all different, but hopefully success is there. And that's what I like helping do.
So when you say success to an agent, like, what do you help them achieve, and how do you help them achieve it, or how do they help themselves achieve the kind of success that you're looking to ingrain in them?
Yeah, for sure. The very first discussion I have with an agent is you have to get up and go to work. So you have to get up, clock in, do the work. The old adage of knocking on doors and making the phone calls and having that work ethic is still true today. Yes, we have a lot of technology that we use as tools. As for the definition of success, it's a lot different for different people. It could be helping friends and family. It could be being a top producer. So anywhere in between there, I dial in with them on what it takes to be that success for them. I don't want to define it. Some, large brokerages and even some boutique brokerages, the brokers want to define what that success is, and they don't have any patience for anything else. To me, it's important to find what their passion is, and I'll help anyone along the way. It's rewarding for me to just see them shine in whatever that happens to be.
I love that. So it's really about being the individual. And I think it's really important for a lot of agents to understand that a broker is a coach in many, many situations. And that coaching means really getting, I'd like to think, the most out of the agent. And so I really appreciate that that is your focus. And when I say get out of it, I mean not just money or listings, but really get a successfully joyous, financially sound life. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
So when you started out, what do you think is really different from what's going on now? And can you share what you think maybe some answers would be if people have questions about how to really focus on getting ahead as they're in their career right now?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, a lot of people know that our industry is changing. It's forever changing. I don't think that's anything new. We do have new regulations every year that come to. There's a lot of major ones that have come recently, but there will be more to come. So I think it's important to be a student of the game, if you will. I think it's important to get out and learn every day. We have tremendous opportunities for free education. I offer it to my agents from my perspective, but I think it's important to go out and get other perspectives as well, and just stay on top of the regulations and the requirements. And again, it's that work ethic. Just get up and go. You got to get up. You got to go to events. You got to. I am all for getting in a room with other agents and other brokers. I think, some people don't like to do that because they think it's competition or whatever. I think it's important for us to all get in the same room and handle the battles and talk about the battles and post-mortem talks and what went well, what went wrong, and how can you do it better next time. And again, the part-time agents it's a little tougher because they're not in the midst of a transaction. So we're really talking about the basics of growing their business and becoming that agent. And then as they progress, we have some real life stories that we can go through. And so again, stay current. Always be a student, always be a learner. I still learn something every day, and no matter from a new agent to a well-seasoned agent, I can take something home from them every day. And I think it's important for us to search that out. It's on them, it's on you, just in your field as well. It's on you to go out and find your place and find your path. I'm just here to help guide you through that.
Those are great points. And I love that you said it's valuable for agents to connect with each other. I'm in the Women's Council of Realtors, and we always say, leave your badge at the door, meaning forget about what agency or brokerage you're with and just connect on that level. So that's hugely important. Thank you for that.
Yeah, we have a big presence of Women's Council here locally. They do a tremendous job, and I love all of their events. So yes, get involved.
Yes, get involved. That's another thing. How do you like agents to get involved above and beyond? And shameless plug for Women's Council of Realtors, but how else do you like to see agents get involved with either the industry or in their area?
Yeah, so the first thing is number one, get with your association. Our association offers all kinds of free trainings, and it's not just the basics of entering an MLS. I mean, it's true commercial 101 stuff. There's some residential, there's some great condo classes. Get with your local association and take all of those trainings that you can take and stay current with them. And the second thing is, get into the charity organizations, get into the Chamber of Commerce, get into your local area and dive in. I'm a huge foodie, so I have a passion of cooking as well. But I love the local restaurants that we have here, the freshness and all that. When a new one pops up, of course, we have to try it. And us being on the coast, having some beautiful scenery as well helps. But get out in your community and don't be afraid to let people know that you're in the game. Just, you don't have to announce it every day and to everyone you meet. But when you sit next to someone, spark up a conversation, don't be afraid to tell them what you do.
And of course, it's a great way to be out in the community and also to share your community with others, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so I love that. I want to go back to the fact that you said you're a real data guy. I am not a data gal whatsoever. I'm all about the words in the video and all of that. But when you talk about data and how it really drew you as part of real estate, how do you use data and how do you suggest your agents use data to their advantage?
Yeah, so technology has helped with that tremendously, obviously. But for most people that aren't data heads like me and Excel gurus and all
Is that
that
a
good stuff,
gearhead? Is that what a gearhead
it's a
is?
data head. Yeah,
Data head.
you
Okay.
caught it. You caught it.
Got it.
So my philosophy is a first time home buyer, they are buying an investment property. Yes, they're going to live in it, but it's one of the biggest investments that they will make in their life. And all the way to my large investors that we do commercial developments, we do neighborhood developments. I just got done doing 375 townhome unit complex. And so from the first time home buyer to that big investor, I think it's important to know the data. I think it's important to partner with someone that really understands the local area and the data behind it. So I feed them that data, help them understand it. And again, from coaching little kids and all the way up to high school and college, I think I pride myself on being able to simplify it for people and take that data and dial it in for my investors. So again, a lot of people use the word investment and investor for that big investor guy. It's that first time home buyer as well.
That's a great point. Absolutely. And most people don't necessarily do this over and over. Sometimes, at least what we're finding, a lot of younger people, they're used to buy what we would call a starter home. And that doesn't seem to be the case for a lot of us in our area. I'm in the Northeast, but
Okay.
people are they're getting a home that they really look to be in for a while, if
Years.
not
Yeah.
forever, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
For sure.
it's very important that they have the support. So that's amazing. I actually would be very curious because you were saying you like data, but there's so much marketing that goes into being a real estate agent and having your own business, which of course we all do as independent contractors. What kind of things are you working with or seeing your agents work with that you think is really helping their business?
Yeah, so I talk to my agents big about flipping themselves into the consumer. So imagine you are coming into an area, the Emerald Coast of Florida, you've vacationed here a few times and oh my goodness, I love it here. I want to find that perfect spot. So flip yourself and what's the first thing you would do? Well, I'm going to look on Google or I'm going to look on, the Zillows or the realtor.coms of the world, all of those platforms and just try to marry your marketing towards, those kind of things. So if you can flip yourself around and put yourself in the consumer shoes, it'll help you kind of design your marketing program to go to market. You have to be careful. There's a lot of um, I don't want to call them scammers, but there's a lot of things out there looking to just make a quick buck, and there's not a lot of substance behind it. There's not a lot of data behind it that you will grasp. So you have to be careful with that because, again, it helps to be with someone that's seasoned. But then, from a true data standpoint, back to your point there, I really dive into our tourist data here. We're still about 50%, maybe over 50% owned by out-of-state second homes, investors, those kind of things. So unlike an Atlanta or a Dallas where you're truly farming an area for listings and buyers, we really have to get into the digital side of things and the data side of things and grab our Nashville, grab our Atlanta, grab our Birmingham's, big out of Texas for this area now. So you've got to kind of be an amoeba and change your marketing each quarter as you go and reevaluate where you're putting your money. It's really easy to, especially in a market that has slowed the last year or so. It's easy to just jump on the quickest thing and throw a couple of $100 at it. You got to have a well thought of plan, and we sit down early on and we kind of map that out of what it looks like, but you got to be able to adjust. It's important to be able to adjust to market conditions.
Yeah, to shift with what the market is doing. And what do you think in your market, actually? I'd love to know what is really going on. Is it the same all of what we're having in the Northeast, for example? It's very, very busy. I mean, we have multiple showings rather, multiple offers. Do you have that kind of hot market as well?
Yeah, so we're in an interesting. I'll talk to the Panhandle again. I've got agents down in Central Florida as well, South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. I also opened up Coastal Premier GA in Atlanta, Georgia. So I've got a broker of record up there working that market. But let's focus in on the Panhandle market for right now. We're a specialty market for sure. We're a tourist area. We're an investment area. We do have a lot of people moving to Florida from the Northeast. So we are hot right now. It seems to be that, again, back to data, it seems to be that certain pockets of price point, not necessarily right now pockets of neighborhoods, it's more pockets of price point right now that are moving really quickly. So the affordable stuff, of course, is moving really well still. We're getting into a real competitive situation there. It seems to the 500, so our average price is about 550 to 650K. So it seems that price point up to about 1.25, 1.5 mil. Those have kind of sluggish right now. But the two and above are still moving really well. So it just depends on where you're priced, what has been done. I mean, we, just like you guys, we have places that were built back in the 60s and 70s. We also have, stuff that is just being built still today. So it's different pockets, but it seems to be a price point situation right now. We're getting into our shoulder season, they call it here in the Panhandle in the vacation world. So little slower there, but people are starting to kind of plan and pick things up. We'll pick back up pretty heavy again about mid-January. Your selling season in Northeast, you probably pick up a little later than that, just for weather. But
Exactly, for our spring. Yeah.
your spring push, yeah. And then we have a big, Memorial Day to Labor Day push, just because people are getting ready to, put their kids in a different school. So at Coastal Premier, we handle long-term rentals as well, for our top clients and helping people find a place to live temporarily until they can find the perfect spot to buy. And I always recommend that when you go into a new area, make sure you study the area and get with someone that really knows it.
I'm so glad you said that. I was just going to ask you what the best way to learn about something like an area that's not in your direct even state. When you talk about being in Georgia, you talk about being in Texas or having other parts of Florida, how people come to know it. So that's awesome. But one of the things, we've watched from the Northeast with a lot of sadness that we've had a lot of climate change that has shown up for Florida. And I was actually curious to know what's coming up for you guys when you talk about climate to people who are looking at the area, because it's not a secret that Florida has weather experiences, some of them better or worse than others. And it's so interesting to be in an area where that could really affect what's going on for your marketplace. We don't have that as much. And I really appreciate you telling us what you generally talk to, either the agents talk about or what you say to your clients?
Yeah, sure. So first, let's keep everything in perspective. This is one of the first things I talk about. I own a condo in Miramar Beach that was built in 1977. How many weather events have we been through, and that condo is still standing today? And it's 100, probably about 100 yards from the beach.
Yeah.
So, let's keep it in perspective there. But there are a lot of our neighbors that, especially in Central Florida right now, the past couple of years, that have really gone through the ringer. So, one thing that I offer expertise in is I've done a lot of development with around wetlands. We have a lot of wetlands, a lot of protected areas here. So knowing your risks and what the area contains is important. So dive into that local area as well. Again, I mentioned long-term rentals. Go into an area, rent a long-term rental for a year, and then get with the community. See what you like to do, see where you like to be, see how traffic flows. I mean, you know how important that is where you're at.
Absolutely.
And it's very important here. But even with the climate events and climate change, no matter which side of the political spectrum you're on there, the fact is we have a lot of events in Florida. But we're resilient too, and we build to code. Our codes are constantly um, you know, getting better, and they're constantly making changes there. So it's important to have an advocate that can help you with that as well. I've got great partners from a strategic standpoint with inspections and construction guys and repairs and all of the electrician, plumber. I've got those people that are kind of strategic partners with me that we keep a tight circle and we take care of each other. So get into that area, find an expert, just go and again, go do. So one of my big philosophies for everybody is just go do, and I tell my agents that go do. And that's the best way to feel it and experience it, and then again be ready to adjust and be ready to kind of form your strategy and where you want to be.
Yeah. I love also that you were mentioning how you and your agents, and most agents, are sort of the middle of a wheel, and there are a lot of spokes off of that. And you were talking about having strategic partnerships with people. Can you just mention a little bit about that and maybe the importance of that, to have those kind of relationships for people who are listening to the podcast?
Yeah, for sure. Listen, when I first came into this area, I had been here vacationing many years, but I didn't know a whole lot of people. So I wanted to gravitate around that community and that feel of taking care of one another. And we have that strong here in Florida, as a lot of places do. But we have that strong here, that sense of community. So and I pride myself on a one-stop shop. When I came into the area, I didn't want to have to call this agent for this and figure this out on my own. So I really put together a strategy of completeness so that we can help people through any aspect that they need. And yeah, you can Google, but to know somebody has used them and trust them, and for them to come in and make a major repair, and you have knowledge of someone that you trust, I think that's important. And I stress that to my agents, all of my new agents and my experienced agents as well. Listen, those contractors are constantly changing as well. Their lives change, they move out of the area, things happen in their family. So again, dive into your community, get to know those people. There's a lot of networking events that we do here locally that bring all of those types of people together, all of those service individuals together. And so keep that relationship, keep that building. It's all about relationships. It's all about communication. And so but again, Coastal Premier Properties, I pride myself and my agents do as well. Being able to take that phone call and say, what do you need? Okay, I got you. I got a guy for that. Famous one of my agents is, Tim, you always got a guy for that. Yes, I do. I got a guy or a gal for that. So
Yeah, I agree. I got that. I love that.
I got a person for that. So I think that's important for us to build those networks.
Yeah. I agree. Because the other thing that I've always found is they answer my call. If I
Yep.
have a relationship, they answer my call if my clients are having any problems. And I'm sure that's with you too. You know, Tim, there are agents who don't know what they want to do. They don't know where they want to go. They may not be happy in their brokerage. And I'd love you to share with us what you think would be benefits to be under your brokerage and maybe, a little push for some recruitment.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for that prompt.
Sure.
Um, it- I am as individualized as they come. I think I mentioned that before. I'm a true coach teacher at heart, and I've taught sales folks in other industries. I've taught agents in the real estate world. But I think one thing you get from me is you get the broker involved. I am a boutique brokerage. I have no desire to be 4,000 agents. I just don't. I want that one-on-one experience with you, and I want to be able to walk you through your journey, whatever that is, and get the most out of what you want. And let's go do it together. So I think if you look at a lot of brokerages, the broker's just a number and a name on the door, right? And I think that my strength and my philosophy and what I offer new agents is just a chance to really get firsthand knowledge and walk down the path together and walk along the beach and figure it out together. And I think that's the most important thing that, I'm going to answer the phone at 9, 10, just as you said, for your relationships that you have with your vendors. They're going to answer my call as well. And I'm going to answer my phone. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help. And if somebody needs some help at 9, 10 o'clock at night, I'm going to do my best to help them as much as I can. So
I appreciate that because I think it's 100% helpful to have a broker who is with you all the way because
yeah,
we all have questions. We all have things we're working on, no matter how long we've been in the business.
yeah.
Well, this has been such a great conversation. I really appreciate it, Tim. I thank you for coming on. And I wanted to thank you all for viewing. If you guys have any questions about what's going on in Florida, or we're starting to know more, right, about what's going on in Georgia, Tim is available. How can people get in touch with you, Tim? What's the best way?
Yeah, you can jump on our website at cppflorida.com. That's CPP as in Coastal Premier Properties, Florida spelled out.com. You can reach me on my cell at all times. Listen, I give it to everybody. 850-502-6300. Give me a call. And again, if I can help you, you want to join CPP and let's go down the path together. Come see me.
Awesome. All that information will be in the show notes as well for you guys who are listening. So
Awesome.
Thank you so much. As I always say, from our studio to your success, thank you so much for being a part of this episode and for being a great audience. And thanks to our guest, Tim Collins. Really appreciate the time. If you guys,
Thanks, guys.
oh, absolutely. And if you guys like this episode, share it. Make sure that people know about it and they hear what's going on in the real estate world from Icons of Real Estate podcast. Thanks again for joining us, and I'll see you next time. I'm Kat Timpson.